Hello, listeners. Welcome to the new episode of Indie Masala podcast. Here is your host, Amit Shekhar, Indie Masala. And today we are going to talk about something very, very different. So today is the episode which is based on awakening, and we are going to talk about the origin of thought, the levels of mind. From where does thought come? And have you thought about it ever? So let's do a quick dive in. Often people would tell you, think big, think out loud, think outside the box. I never knew what was the box. Think on your feet. Probably very, very applicable to trainers like me or to the stand-up comedians also, because you do not have a written script to follow. But do we really think inside our heads only? Are thoughts confined to brain only? Is the question. According to embodied cognition, we think with the body, the entire body, not only the mind. However, early psychologists thought that a thought is an activity that resides in brain. A sensory data come in from eyes and ears, fingers and funny bone, and then mind turns those signals into disembodied representations. That is what manipulates it and what we call thinking. So again, brain does the thinking. You start suspecting someone in the first meeting. Now, from where are the inputs coming? Is it the memory? Is it the past experience? Is it the conditioning that you meet an absolute stranger and sometimes you build a trust on the individual, or sometimes you do not trust the individual in the very first meeting? In a scientific research, fishy odor when given to volunteers increases the level of suspicion in them. However, in the same research, suspicious research subjects perceived the odor more as compared to people who were trusting in nature. So how do you define this? When we look out, or when we look up or are nudged to look up, your mind immediately thinks of people who are more powerful than you. And when you are nudged to look down, you normally think of people whom you outrank. For example, when asked to sign a petition, if the petition was given on a very strong clipboard, people thought the petition's quality is very high. When the same petition is given to people to sign on a lightweight clipboard, they thought the petition quality was not that great. For example, better batsmen, and you have Tendulkars of the world, Rohit, Virat, they actually see the ball bigger as compared to other batsmen. That's what they say. In fact, even these people, when in form, they are in a flow state, and their ability to perceive the coming ball is much better to a person, the same individual, when he was out of form. Catches taken which defy physics and gravity. Like yesterday, Harleen Devil's catch in the match. What? She was not having a calculator to calculate. It was her brain, eye, hand, feet coordination, and what example of magic she created on field. Now, how many activities, actions were happening at the same point in time? And a marvelous example of hand, eye, mind, body coordination. Was it thought, or was it a conditioned reflex? Yet to see. Botox, which is taken to remove the frown lines, also slowed the comprehension of sentences describing angry or sad events in the subjects. Now think of it. What is the correlation? And I always used to wonder, in my childhood, I've seen that even if somebody comes with a sad news and breaks the news to my Baba, he would say, "Wah." And I was perplexed that, okay, somebody died and you're saying, "Wah." But probably, I do not know, that was his immediate reaction which used to come. So, we fundamentally perceive the world in terms of our ability to act or on our environment. Like for example, a number of subjects were asked the steepness of a hill, and they were standing at the bottom of the hill. The volunteers answered according to how physically suited they were to climb hill. For example, a volunteer who was having a heavier backpack, he said it looks very steep. However, an athlete who is used to climbing is that okay, it's less steep. The same group, there is an unfit person who says it's very, very steep. And remember, it's the same hill. So even perception depends on our physical ability and our conditioning also. So perception is also very, very individual. In 1999, Amadeo Diallo, he was shot and killed by a New York policeman because while he was trying to fetch his wallet to probably show the identity card, the New York police officer thought that he was trying to pull a gun and he was shot and killed. So mind, body, action, thought really confuses me. From where do thoughts originate? And during this research only, I came on the concept of Vedanta and the 4 aspects of mind. Fantastically explained, very, very deep thought. So mind, according to Vedanta, belongs to the subtle body and to the causal body also. So it's a bridge between the body and the soul, and most fundamental tool and a doorway to self-realization. And that is the concept in yoga, that is the concept in Ayurveda, that is the concept in Vedanta. So mind is the cause of bondage and suffering at the same time. Mind is the greatest opening for moksha or liberation from samsara, according to the Vedanta philosophy. Now there are 4 aspects of mind: our manas, our ahankara, our buddhi, our chitta. So if soul is inside the palace, these are the 4 walls. Starting from internal to external: chitta, buddhi, ahankara and manas. So now let's talk about manas. It's the level of outer mind, the outer wall. The most mechanical, mundane functions are done by manas. It receives all types of thoughts and information. It's kind of a membrane which is connected to the outward senses, bombarded by inputs each second: the light, sound, smell, vibration. It's a very noisy place, very loud place. There is a lot of movement happening here, a lot of change happening here. Now then comes ahamkara, ego part of the brain, which identify what I-ness is. It's a level of mind which differentiates between the self and the other, subject and the object, inside wall versus the outside wall. It protects the integrity of our individual vessel of our soul, protecting it from the dangers of the world outside. Buddhi, the third one, our buddhi, it's a quality of inner knowing, the great wise counselor inside us, one who lives close to the main palace, that is the soul. It's a part of mind armed with raw power in the form of supreme intelligence. It takes highly informed decisions, life-altering decisions, path-breaking decisions. When everybody will say that this is not right, you'll still go ahead and do that. That's buddhi guiding you. Buddhi is the refined sense of knowing, but access to buddhi is weak because it's often muffled by the loud chit-chat of extroverted manas. Now, lastly, chitta. It's the memory bank part of the mind. Stores memories from past and current lives. We access it when we recall something. So we look up and remember something, you are referring to the chitta. It's subject to conditioning, different existence, cultures and times which your chitta, your soul has lived into. Chitta is most uniquely ours. Why? Because it keeps changing according to the environment our souls inhabit during a given lifetime. Do you recall that? A young boy who, when he went in the plane and he requested to go to the cockpit, and when he went to the cockpit he started talking about the mechanism of flying the plane, and people were bewildered that how could a 5-6 year old boy know the mechanism of flying a plane. And there are also stories where World War II fighter pilots who died and then they were born and they clearly vividly remembered the sequences. That is chitta. So that is our talk today about the thought and 4 different aspects of mind. And I'm sure that giving any answers I have created more questions. So that is Indie Masala for you. Signing off for today. See you soon. Bye bye. Take care.